Right, let's have a bit of a natter, shall we? As you can see, I'm in the van today. It's pissing down with rain. We're at the end of or the tail end of some storm. I forget the name of what it is, but it's hitting Hertfordshire relatively hard at the minute. It's pissing down with rain, really windy. Meant to be like this all weekend. So there's no walking or anything exciting happening this weekend because I'm not going to go and brave those elements. I'll get out a bit later and try and get up to my 10,000 steps. I've already been I've been shopping this morning, so I've done some steps, but I ain't been anywhere interesting. Anyway, yeah, it's not often I do any videos in the van because I feel that all van life videos have been done before. But this van is still very much a work in progress. You can see that I've got rubbish all over the bed. I've got no curtains or anything yet. I've got these like the what do they call it? The silver foil stuff that we use for insulation. That's pinned up against the windows, and I've got a yellow set of curtains to separate the cab from the habitation area. It is getting there slowly but surely. The floor is almost done. I fixed up the heater this morning, done that. Table's now up and running. Like I say, I'm not going to go too much into it because everybody's done a van build. They all know what's involved. Mine is done on a real cheap budget. There's no extreme money being spent here because I just don't have it. It's just a livable space for me. So what else have we got to report? Not a lot really. Not doing a lot now until Christmas time, when I've got, hopefully, I think I've got about 17 days in Wales this time, so I'm looking forward to that. No end, just to not so much for Christmas, but just to get away from here for a while. It'll be a nice break. Right, I've been watching a Vanlifer. Mad Mark, his name is. He's an absolute diamond geezer. I think he's fucking hilarious, and the content he puts out is brilliant. It's very real, you know. It's really good. But he does talk a lot about negativity when it comes to van life videos, and I kind of get where he's coming from with that. There's a lot of people that put out negative content on YouTube about the troubles they have living in a van, but those videos get a lot of watches. Is it clickbait? I don't know. Some of it is relatively honest. Some of it, it might be a lie. I don't know. I've only ever done one video where I was pissed off with van life, and that was when my old van got vandalised. They'd snapped a window deflector off the window and tried busting in the lock. Yeah, I didn't enjoy that at all. Oh, and there was another one, but that was when I first started. I was parking my little van. I had a little Peugeot Viper back then, and I parked it in a garage, and one night the garage got broken into, and I jumped out and confronted this guy, and I got pushed over and knocked myself out. Anyway, yeah, it weren't a very nice one. It weren't very nice, but I told it once on a story early in my van life adventures, and then that was it, left it there. But I think there's a difference between a lot of van lifers these days. There's a lot of people that can hop into their wagon and they can piss off and do travelling and go and explore and do all the Instagram pictures, all the wonderful shots. That's one side of it. And then there's people like myself that do this for a means to an end. You know, some people live in a van because they have to, because they can't afford a property, or money's low, or whatever it may be. And there are days, well, there are a lot of days that I struggle, yeah. And the biggest struggle that I have is my time that I have on my own. That plays havoc with me, whereas Mark is quite happy on his own, and I get that. You know, I am a majority of the time when I'm at work. I like working alone. I go for a walk on my own. All right, I go out with Sam from time to time, and that's nice. But the majority of my time, I do things on my own. But being in here on a day like today, where it's pissing down with rain, can't do anything, you do get a little bit of cabin fever. You know, you do. Okay, I've got an iPad and I can watch TV and that, but that only cures the problem for a little while. You know what I mean? It don't It don't take the loneliness away. And then I find myself picking up my phone, hoping that I can hear from someone, or I'll text someone, or you know, just to have that little bit of engagement. But being on your own, for me, especially over the weekend when I'm on my own for a long period of time, that's fucking painful. It is, and I think that's one negative side of van life for me. You know, not everybody's the same. Some people could just be on their own continuously and be happy with that. Me, I need a little bit of engagement, you know, I really do. But yeah, van life for me is a means to an end. There's nothing else I can really do at this point, so I suffer with it. But I don't make the videos on it. I don't enjoy making van life videos whatsoever. I don't enjoy the van build videos anymore because I've seen a million of them. I think everybody who's done van life vlogs has just, well, they've all been done, haven't they? There's a few that I watch now, a selective few, but some of the bigger YouTubers, don't watch them anymore. Just done with it. Just absolutely done. I like the people that are struggling their way through life, living in a van. You know, I like that. Making ends meet, not the glory hunter ones. You know, the ones that get all the products and drive off into the sunset, in their brand new motorhome and whatnot. You know, that just don't do it for me anymore. I prefer this lower class version of van life, if you could call it that. You know, that's where I am. The people that are fucking skint, the people that have got nowhere to go, the people that have to live this way. That's what I enjoy doing. Anyway, that's enough of that for a minute. Now, I can't say I'm the biggest fan of people that are negative on YouTube. I mean, I watch them and I feel for them, but I mean, negative stuff all the time can become, well, it can become irritating, can't it? But then I find myself thinking, you know, we should be, instead of judging these people because they're feeling down or whatever the problem is, but it's being very negative, we should be supporting them, helping them. There used to be a wonderful thing some time ago that Liam the Terrible put up about supporting van lifers, and that went pretty big. But I'm not seeing that so much now. I don't know whether I'm wrong. I don't know whether it's still a thing, but I don't know. I'm a member of a Facebook group which is supporting van lifers, and I run a group of my own on WhatsApp where there's a few of us that remain in contact. We don't do a lot of talking, but if one of us has got a problem, we can put a message out and point them in the right direction for a mechanic or a little bit of help or whatever it is they require, and that's quite nice. But yeah, I think the whole van life supporting thing is starting to dwindle right down, especially with some of the van lifers, some of the original ones that I used to watch that have got bigger and bigger and bigger on YouTube, you know, got all the expensive cameras and doing this, that and the other and doing really well for themselves, which is fine, absolutely. I mean, you know, I think that's wonderful for them. But don't forget about us ones at the bottom that are doing all this crap on a budget, you know, that ain't got a pot to piss in, you know, or no one to turn to. We still are here, you know, so even if you're not running that support van lifers group yourself, pass the baton down to somebody else that could take it over and be very supportive. Yeah, do you know what I'm getting at? I say, I don't mean to be too negative, but I'm being brutally honest here, you know, and this is what I see. So I'm going to turn this into a rant, and I don't want to do that, so I'm going to leave that one there and finish making my coffee. It must have been, is it nearly 2 years ago now since I put my first video out about why I live in a van, and I remember being sat in my old Transit sort of telling a story why I am doing what I'm doing, and not a lot's changed really since that point. I still live in a van. My wife still lives in Wales, as you know. Hopefully I can get to Wales one day. If I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. But anyway, everything is still pretty much the same. The only thing that I incorporated into my videos was the just going out walking. Walking was for for the health benefits, you know, when I'm trying to lose weight. Not that it's going too well all the time. Some days are easier than others. But yeah, anyway, I was going out for walks, not just for health reasons, but to cure the boredom. You know, to have a wander through the countryside, to go and see some ruins and some churches, to, I don't know whether you can call it find yourself, or a spirit walk, or whatever you want, but it was the only way that I could keep myself occupied, you know. Looking at something nice was just a way of keeping my mind active, because if I sit too long in here, or even if I stay at Sam's house, if I'm indoors too long, I just start overthinking and going a bit mad, you know. And that's when the loneliness hits. And that was another reason why I started to do YouTube as well, was not just to log stuff, but just to have an opportunity to express myself, because I don't really have a lot of friends. I don't really communicate with a lot of people. I keep a lot of stuff bottled up, so just putting it on YouTube was just a way to get it out there. I mean, some people could say it's strange. Why the hell do you wear your dirty washing on YouTube? But I found a great relief from that. I know I don't have a great deal of followers or watchers or anything like that, but I do it because it helps me, because it gives me something to do. And every now and then I'll get a message on Instagram from someone that's in the same boat, whether it be about the van life or losing weight, or someone that suffers with their mental health. They've been in touch with me before, you know, and that's nice, you know, just having someone else to communicate with that understands what I'm talking about, you know. I like that, and that's pretty much why I voice my opinions and things. I get slated all the time for walking around the churches and graveyards and things, being called weird. I'm sorry, the camera's shaking a bit. I can see it. It's because the van's rocking, because it's really windy. But yeah, I do get slated for the things that I do. But I'm not going to stop it. Just because somebody else don't like what I do, then that's their fucking problem. You know, if you don't like the videos that I put out, then don't watch them. You know, I'm not gonna be upset. If you troll me, you know, leave negative comments, I'll delete you. It's not a problem. I don't care. You know, I do this to help me. I find it beneficial for me, and I'm sure there's other people out there that feel the same. In fact, I know there is. I know there's some very small channels out there that kind of do what I do, and it works for them. I know another thing that I mention quite a lot in my videos is my mum. And yeah, when she was around, we had a close relationship. We was, you know, I could always rely on her. And when I lost her, that was a fucking major hit on me and my mental health. And that when I lost her in was it 2019, it never got any easier. You know, right up until this point, it's still not easy. I still think about her. I still hear her voice in my head, and I really wish that my phone would ring and it'd be her, you know, just to have a natter with her. Now, she wasn't the sort of mum that would mollycoddle me in any way, shape or form. She was tough as old boots, and she always told me what I needed to hear rather than what I wanted to hear, you know. But having that person, having your mum or your dad even, to give you that a bit of advice is really good. But to lose them, probably one of the most painful things you'll ever go through in your life. So if you have got that person, if you have got your mum, father, grandma, auntie, whoever it is that you're really close to, then okay, keep them close, keep hold of them, and make every moment with them count, because one day that person's not going to be here, and it'll affect you really bad, as it has done me. The video of me and Sam going up to Shropshire, that was a wonderful couple of days. I really enjoyed myself doing that. When we first got into Shropshire, we went to Broseley, where my late mum used to live, and we took a walk up there and went down to her old bungalow. But when we got there, I was completely overwhelmed, really overwhelmed with emotion. I wanted to go there for nostalgic reasons, but when I got there, I really had to compose myself, you know, really had to keep things together, because I could feel myself slowly losing it, ready to unleash like a shed load of tears, you know. But I had Sam with me, so I tried to be very strong. We was only in Broseley a short amount of time, because as nice as it was to be there, it was so incredibly painful to go back, and it just brought back a barrage of memories. Although these memories are good and you don't want to forget them, it was so upsetting. But then we got out of Broseley and we went to Iron Bridge. Was another place that I used to go with my mum a lot. We used to go shopping down there and have a good amble around and go and have a coffee and a sausage roll. It was lovely. It was really nice. Even going down there was very difficult. Sam enjoyed himself, but it was good to move on as well. It was good to get away from there and go explore something new. When we started looking around the ruins and some churches and stuff, I never realised how many was in the area, but it was a really good trip, and I am so glad that I'd done it. I just wish it could have been for a little bit longer, you know. I would have liked to have explored the Shropshire countryside a little bit longer, because there's certainly a lot of stuff around there that needs to be looked at. But we are going to go back, so that's something to look forward to. Anyway, getting back to the Vanlife content, I haven't done a tour of this van because it's incomplete. I mean, I'm hoping maybe within the next 6 months I'll get it to a level where it where I'll be a lot more happier with it. But it's one of those time-consuming jobs. It doesn't matter what you do. You plan to do the flooring, it takes longer than you think it will. You know, you plan to do the roof, the wooden roof that we put up, took a lot longer than what I thought it would. I mean, it's completed now, but like I say, jobs just take longer than you think they will. And then when you do one job, there's another job that will present itself. You know, it's not a simple thing like you'll just build a cabinet and that's it. You'll have to build a cabinet, and then you'll have to do something else beside that to make it more presentable, and then, you know, the list of jobs just keep coming. It's not as easy as you think it'd be. Not unless you went full basic, just by having a van with some carpet slapped on the side and a mattress on the floor. Then you could probably get away with that. But I started off that way. I started off in the little van, the little bipper. But saying that, even that had kitchen cupboards and a sink and everything in. That was fine. But you want to upgrade from every van that you have. You want to get bigger and more comfortable. You know, the only reason I bought this one is because the Transit I couldn't stand up in, which is fine. If you're going to use it as a day van or a weekend warrior, that's fine, not a problem at all. It served its purpose well. But when my friend originally bought this and I walked in here, I thought, oh my god, I've got to get a high top van. Luckily, a year later, he sold it to me, and yeah, I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't have a smaller van, not now, not for being a full timer. Like I say, if you're a weekend warrior, an occasional camper, then it doesn't matter. You can have any size of car or van that you want. But if you're in it full time, I really believe that you need to stand up. When I first bought this and sold the Transit, every time I stepped in the side door, I was ducking down. I was still thinking that I was in a small van. It took me a long time to get used to the fact that I could actually stand up in here. But it really does make all the difference, honestly. It really does. After being full-time now for 5 years. Yeah, 5 years now. It's certainly made all the difference. And I want to be as comfortable as I can, especially as these years are passing and my joints and things are getting more and more stiff, more and hard more difficult to move. I don't know whether I don't know, do I mention about my health things? Yeah, do you know what? I will. Yeah, I'm going to talk to you about my health. Let me bring you back in a second. Right, so let me talk to you about health. Let's start from the top down. First of all, I'm an epileptic man. I haven't had a seizure for many years. It's all controlled. I take 8 pills a day. Side effects from them. Side effects was weight gain. Speaks for itself, really. Yeah, there was weight gain when I started taking them as a teenager. Was there any other side effects? Oh, the tremor. Yeah, I got a tremor. I shake when I concentrate. Like normal people can go into a pub and pick up a pint. I can't do that. If I'm a little bit anxious in a pub, then I have to have a bottle. Yeah, I mean, there's a mixture there between having the tremor and suffering from anxiety, but we'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, epilepsy. It's under control, no problem. Allowed my driving license, all that jazz. But that is one thing that I have wrong with me. Working down to my chest, my shoulder to start with, I've got a bunch of things wrong with my shoulder, which has come to light recently. Yeah, I was starting to struggle lifting my arm high. Lifting a weight, lying in bed is difficult as well. Sometimes I have to stretch my arm right out like that because it really hurts, and it's something to do with I've got something on the scapula, something to do with the rotor cuff. There's a cyst in there, and there's this something that glows in an X-ray. So I had to go for a CT scan, but they don't know what it is. But they said that it hasn't changed from an X-ray that I had 10 years ago, so that is just going to be left and monitored for now. Okay, I'm kind of happy that there's been no change over the past 10 years with it, but I'd like to know what it is. I mean, I do get a lot of pain, but that could have been all these other bits and pieces. Apparently there's is it a congenital defect, and that's something that was wrong from birth, so who knows. That's my shoulder. The chest pain, I went into hospital, didn't I, back in April when I was woken up in the night. I had quite bad chest pain, and I was so scared. I really thought I was going to collapse and die. After 7 hours in the A&E, they pretty much told me to be on my way, and then I got referred to a cardiologist. I went and had the ultrasound scan on the heart, and then I had is it the coronary angiogram, where they inject you with a dye and check all your veins and bits and pieces inside your heart, your arteries and all that. Turns out I've got a narrowing in one of the, is it an artery? Artery? You know what I mean, artery. It's a narrowing. It's either in an artery or a vein, but it's not too bad at this point. It was just, everything else was fine. I was just advised to modify my diet and exercise, which I kind of explained to them that I walk shitloads every day. I do 10,000 steps, and I pretty much live on chicken, you know, so I don't eat much that's that bad for me, apart from something every now and then. But I'm not a compulsive eater of, you know, fatty foods at all. So that was that. That's something else. I've been discharged. There's no further action with that at this point. I've got to go back if there's any further problems. So that one's that. Let me go down to my hips. I've got pins, 2 pins in both of my hips, where your ball, is it the ball goes into the socket of the hip. Mine are pinned in place to keep them in place, because some years ago when I was younger, one of them came out like that, which wasn't very nice. Wasn't very nice at all. Anyway, they fixed that. But now the problem I've got with that, I've got one leg shorter than the other, and I've got osteoarthritis in both hips, and they give me a lot of grief. I think I made a short a YouTube short some time ago about how much agony I was in when I was on a walk. It really was amazingly painful. Now, because I've got a leg longer than the other, it throws my posture out, so I've got a slight curvature of the spine as well, and obviously I hobble along and I walk funny, so I have a painful ankle, and I always get something called Achilles tendonitis, is it? So that swells up because of me being all out of sync, and see, so it's a vast array of fucking problems that goes on with me. But I laugh about it. I don't, you know, I try very hard not to dwell on that. You know, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do. I eat as healthy as I can. I don't smoke, although I do have a drink, probably more this year than ever before. But other than that, I don't really do anything else that wrong. So that's my physical ailments. So we spoke about the epilepsy, but I also have quite an issue with mental health. Now, I don't know how to talk about this one. Where do I begin? There's a lot of depression. There's depression, serious anxiety, which I suffer with, and it's mainly when I'm out with other people in groups, when I have to go to a family fucking meal, which is something that no one can. I don't know that many people that can sympathise with me about this. I go to a family meal and I hate it. Yeah, I have to. If my wife makes me a drink, then she'll have to do it sort of 2 inches below the bottom, below the top of the cup, so I can actually pick it up without going like that and spilling it all over the place. I know it sounds laughable, but if you're that person that's doing that, it's fucking horrific. Having a meal, it's got to be food that I can cut, jab a fork in and eat. If it's something like trying to scoop soup, never going to happen. Picking up peas on a fork, never going to happen. Beans, not going to happen. It's awful. I hate it. I hate the whole thing to do with a social gathering. Destroys me. You know, I worry about it, the days leading up to it, and it's horrific. Now, it's not just that. Training courses at work, where you have to sit around a table, and sometimes, I don't know whether you've done one of them courses, you have to introduce the person next to you, or you have to do a bit of fucking role play. I lose sleep over this badly, and I would do anything to get out of it. But a lot of these training courses these days are mandatory, you know, but they're horrific for me, and that's where the anxiety is for me. I could walk in a churchyard, as you know, no problem. I could walk through the churchyard at night, no problem. Be in a church or a creepy building, no problem. The tunnels, no problem. Anywhere that some people would say that's fucking scary, that's not a problem for me. I'm quite happy with that. It's groups of people, you know, it's being invited. It doesn't happen so much now, but you know, if some friends of mine say, Gary, do you want to come round for dinner, or have a game night, or play some cards, or fucking barbecues, they're another thing. Can't stand them. I like barbecued food, it's just the amount of people there, and I get so uncomfortable. Yeah, but for some people, they can't get that. They can't grasp that concept of how uncomfortable I feel in certain situations. And then you get told, oh, it's only them, and them. You know them. That's not the fucking point. It still makes me anxious, and I can't tell you why. But that's the way I am. Sorry, I'm going off on a bit of a rant there again, aren't I? But that's it. That's the way I feel, and that's why I do try my hardest to avoid these situations, because I just cannot cope with them. Anyway, that's where we are. That's my entire record of health problems for now, and hopefully that's it. Hopefully there'll be no more for a while. Now, just while we're talking about anxiety and fear and all that sort of stuff, my late mum was exactly the same. She always used to tell me that when she went to or was invited to a work do, she'd never go because of that anxiety. you know. It wasn't that she had any hatred to the people that she worked with. It was just being in an environment where you had that many people. So she always said no to that. Staff training, you know, she detested that. Role play, detested that as well. She was right. Sorry, that's my air vent closing because it's raining. Yeah, she was pretty much the same as me when it come to anxiety and social events. She didn't like it either. She was happy with her own company. Her and my stepdad, they were quite content being on their own. They didn't need to go to big family gatherings, you know. So if my mum was here, I could be phoning her up right now and having a bit of a chin wag with her about that, because I don't really know anyone else in my friend circle that struggles with it as I do. You know, I've mentioned it to a few people, but they just sort of like, oh, just suck it up. Sometimes you have to do this thing. No, you don't. If I don't want to do it, I should have that ability to say, no, I'm not going to this family event, and I'm not going to do this fucking staff training, and I'm not going to stand up in a room full of people that I'm not too familiar with and do some role playing, because I'm not comfortable with it, you know. So I can feel my blood pressure rising now, you know. I can feel me getting a bit wound up by this topic, you know. Anyway, I'll leave that one there for a minute. Yeah, let's just stop that for a second. Right, I'm getting a bit stir crazy sat in here, so I'm going to go and find somewhere to go and have a walk. I've got another pair of shoes with me, so it don't matter if I get some soggy feet, but I need to go and get some fresh air. It's doing me in just being sat here. Anyway, I don't know whether any of this is making a difference with a camera, because I've just adjusted the settings, because I've had this Hero 12 for nearly a year now, and I've continuously had it set on 5.3K at 30 frames per second, I think. And I'm wondering whether having it set like that is just killing the battery, because I got it set like that. Do you know what I mean? And I've heard some other YouTubers say using the Hero 12, having it set down on 4K or 1080p or whatever, it's the battery life is meant to be a bit longer. Now, when I first started filming, when I got into the van here, I was on 88%, and now I'm down to 15. I know I've had a bit of a rabbit, but I don't think the battery should die that bloody quick. So now I'm going to give this a go, see what it's like. Hopefully it's not going to be too feeble a quality. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to drive up to one of the local parks and go and have an amble round. I think, like I say, I'm getting a bit stir crazy being sat in here. Alright, I might get a bit soggy, but on the positive thing, I'm at Sam's house tonight, so I'm going to I've got some cans of Jack Daniels in my fridge. I'm going to take them with me, have a soak in his bath, and put my feet up for the evening. So it don't matter if I get too soggy today, does it really? Anyway, I'll bring you back when I get there. Well, it's certainly not the best day for a walk, I can tell you that. It's blowing a gale out here. The rain's eased off a little bit. It's still drizzling though, but it's not very nice. But the one bonus about coming out like this, there's hardly anyone about. A couple of dog walkers, but other than that, it's relatively quiet. But there's a lot of people out and about on the roads today. Don't know what's going on. Maybe doing their Christmas shopping. Sod that. Well, that's the walk done. Now, one of the nicest things about having a van is doing a walk and getting back to the van, you know, because it's all there waiting for you. I'm parked in the car park. I've just done a couple of miles around the lakes here, and I can jump straight in the back and put the kettle on. I mean, there's nothing nicer than that. Plus, get my shoes off, put something comfy on. I mean, that's good. I mean, I do like that, instead of having to drive back to a house and navigate the traffic before you can get changed and get cleaned up. Now, I know I've been sat here today and moaned about van life and moaned about my own health and been rather negative today, but sometimes I do get days like that. I do. And I'm documenting them days, you know, and I'm just letting whoever watches this, letting you know that this is what can happen. But it's not like that all the time. You know, there's nothing nicer than coming back to something like this, because inside here it's like my little den, my little hideaway. This is mine. I mean, no one can touch it. I don't have to pay ridiculous amounts of money for it, like running a house. You know, this has all that I need in it, and it is a positive thing. It is, absolutely. But I think it can get to you, you know, and I'm sure, well, actually, I'm positive living in a house can have the same effect, but this is a lot cheaper. This is a bit more freedom is given to you when you live this way. Would I change it? Would I change anything with my life? Absolutely, absolutely, 100%, all of it. I didn't intend on living in a camper van. I wanted to utilise it for camping. When I was into my cycling, I wanted to throw the bike in the back and bugger off somewhere, stay overnight, and drive back again. You know what I mean? Use it for that. Not use a van for a permanent dwelling. But for me, this happened, you know, and it was meant to be. So yeah, of course, I would go back. I would like to be living in Wales with my wife if I could. If that all goes wrong and we're no longer together, would I find a house? I don't think I would. I don't like the idea of paying rent, council tax, gas, electric, TV licence, and the list goes on. The endless, copious amounts of bills that you have to continue to fucking pay. You know, we go to work, and I think we spend, or an average person in a house probably spends 99% of his wage on that house and has a very small disposable income. And that's not right. That's not fair. That's no way to live, unless you're a high earner, and I'm not. So I could barely make ends meet, I think, if I had to run a house. I don't think I could handle that by myself. So no, I'd probably stay living in a vehicle, whether it be this one or another one or a motorhome, or don't know, probably do it as long as I'm physically able. Okay, I'm not the fittest man in the world, but I'm still able to do it. Would I change my job if I didn't get to Wales? Yes, absolutely. I think the time has come where I need to move on from the work that I'm doing. I enjoy the job, or some aspects of it, but I think there's been too many changes, which is down to the government really, and I don't like it anymore. I'm not doing the thing that I was employed to do in the first place, you know. So now the time has come to either get to Wales or leave this job here in Stevenage behind and find something new. I have been scouring the internet for bits and pieces, like doing a little bit of grounds work in Norfolk. That sounded quite appealing. You know, do some grounds work up there, live on site in the van up there. And I like Norfolk. I'm a big fan of that area. Something like that, or being a gardener in a holiday home complex thing, you know, a holiday park. That would do, something like that. something a little bit less stressful than what I do now. You know, some people could probably do the job that I do now and say no, it's not that stressful. But me, I'm quite a, as I've got older, I've become more of a stressed out person. So I don't want that anymore. I want to take a step back. I want to relax again, put my feet up, and take a deep breath, and just go to work, and then come back, and you know, not having to worry about it anymore. Not the constant fucking arguments and disagreements. You know, something enjoyable I want to do, something I like doing, in an area of the country where I feel at home. But yeah, Stevenage for me, I don't want to stay here. It used to be a nice town, and it probably is for some people, but it's getting too big. They're building everywhere around it now. The traffic through Stevenage is awful. Getting from one side of the town to the other used to take probably about 10 minutes. Now it takes 20 minutes. You know, there's just cars everywhere and people everywhere, and no, it's not for me anymore. Not at all. Not for me. I want to go somewhere a little bit quieter. Not fussed about the shops. Don't care about none of that. Don't care about coffee shops or any of that. As long as there's a little local shop somewhere where you can get a paper and some supplies, I'll be happy with that. You know, that will do. That will do just nice. But no, Stevenage for me, it's time to move on, one way or another. So everybody has a different point of view when it comes to van life, you know, living on the road. And for the most part, for the ones that you see on the internet, for the ones that are on YouTube and TikTok, they portray it in such a wonderful light, and it can be that way. But like I said before, there are some of us out here that are living this way because they have to, and they don't travel, and we don't travel because we're stuck to a location where our job is. And not all of us can quit our job and go and find something else part-time, because some of us owe quite a bit of money, so we need to have a good bit of income. But I'm hoping one day that it'll all change. Anyway, I apologise whether any of this this video vlog, oh, it's gone dark, has been depressing. That wasn't my intention at all. I was just trying to be realistic, you know, just to show you what happens with me. So anyway, I'm going to leave this one here. I'm going to pop down to the shop, get myself something for tea, and I'll head back to Sam's. I've got 4 cans of Jack Daniels, which I'm going to enjoy this evening as well while watching a film, hopefully, and might even get myself a nice hot bath. So tonight should be a good evening. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again soon.